Well, Hoffman team, I'm excited to be here with my friend John O'Leary. John has a film that's releasing here shortly, and we're really excited to tell you a little bit about it, and also how I met John and why this has been a sort of fun journey to watch the film come to life.
So I'm gonna play off that word you just used a moment ago, friend. I have 2,700 clients, which is a pretty long laundry list of folks we've served. Not all of them are friends. And I sit today with a friend, a client, an investor in our film, a guy who believed in this before almost anybody else, and then his broader family. So Chris Hoffman, my friend, this is an honor.
I'm excited. So we've got three theaters, John. We've got Nashville, we've got St. Louis, we've got Denver. We've got a great group of folks that have registered, and I know some that are still thinking about it. Open to your family and your friends, folks you want to bring to the film. John, for the team that shows up to the film, give us a sneak peek. What can they expect? What's this about?
Well, let me tell you what they think it's about. They think it's about a kid who survived a childhood fire. They think it's about a little boy who got burned on 100% of his body, who should have died. And they think it's going to be about how courageous he was and tough he was and the tenacity he showed as a kid. And then as a young man to overcome that and do something with his life. Today I'm married, I have 4 kids, I have a business, travel the world as a speaker. So that's what they think it's about. What it's really about, family, it's about community, it's about overcoming together, it's about focusing on something bigger than yourself, it's about heroes. Hollywood creates a whole lot of hero films, but most of these heroes wear capes, and most of them wear tights, and most of them soar around in spaceships or they fly by themselves. And this is a story about heroes who wear name badges and go to work and love the one in front of them and do it well day after day after day. And in doing so, they change the life of one. So ultimately, man, I think this film is about recognizing that your work matters, that your life matters, that you get one life and make it matter. Stop making excuses and start living boldly today. So that's not a film about a kid getting burned. It's a story about you.
John, I love that. And I think one thing that's always for me, ever since I've met you, that makes you so approachable and likable and inspirational, is it's never about John. The story that you've had, the story that's in the film, it's always about the people that supported you along the way, that powered you and enabled you to get there and rise to this incredible success story that you've been today. And even as I reflect and take it into our own business, the people, the team that's showing up every day, doing the hard work, because this business, our journey going from where we were, $9 million to over $150 million today. To do that takes a ton of people that care, a ton of people that are rowing in the same direction, a ton of people that are showing up every day, doing things that sometimes isn't sexy and exciting, but it's things that matter and it moves the needle. It matters to our customers, it matters to our business. And as a result, when you fast forward over a 10-year period, you build something incredible, right? Not too different from your own journey.
When they did the poster, and you align with this because this is how you lead, there was a picture of the guy playing me. So there's like William H. Macy in the film and John Corbett in the film and Stephanie Shows, like these are all big actors. But the guy playing me, his name is Joel Courtney, a smashingly good looking kid. So he plays me in the film. But they had the poster with him on the front of it with his arms up, like almost like a Superman pose, looking at the viewers. So I wrote back to Sony and I'm like, guys, watch the film. It's not about the guy who plays John O'Leary. So when you look at the film poster now, you see a silhouette of John O'Leary. And he's looking away from the camera. And if you look an inch closer, Chris, it's a mosaic of all the people who are part of John's life. So it's a mosaic of Jack Bach, the radio announcer, and my mom and dad and my siblings and the neighbors and the firefighters, the nurses, the custodial staff, the entire village that fought to make this thing go from $10 million to $100+ million. In our case, it was the village who fought and rowed in one direction to get a kid who should not have lived to ultimately live vibrantly over the next several decades. Yeah. When we're celebrating one hero or a guy speaker, like that bores me. But when we celebrate what the family can do when we row as one, I have goosebumps right now saying that. That is so cool and so inspirational, and it also means that your work, your life matters.
And John, I loved, I got to go to one day of filming, and I happened to pick the day that was at your graduation at the church.
Okay.
And that was also cool because it was also your friends and family that were there. Actual friends and family came and packed the church, and I thought that was so cool. And I have a new appreciation for what happens off the camera. With the amount of coordination.
You must have hated it, man, because it's so boring. To get a minute of film takes about an hour and a half of work.
Wow.
That church, though, I'm a St. Louis guy for the folks from St. Louis, and I got married to my wife, who I met at St. Louis University. We got married at the Shrine of St. Joseph, so that's where they filmed it. The folks gathered, in addition to Hoffman, were my friends and family who were there 20 years ago when I got married. The girl who plays my wife, Macy McLean, looks just like her, walking down the aisle. She actually was wearing the dress that my wife wore 20 years earlier. And it was so accurate, even the people in the second row on the girls' side sat my mom, sat my mother-in-law and all of her family. And on my side sat my mom and dad and all of our family. So it's a real shot. And my favorite part maybe of the entire film, this is totally inside baseball here, but when the director yells out the word action, That's when the music plays and the girl starts walking down the aisle and Hoffman and others stand up. Well, the only guy who can't stand is my dad. But there was one scene out of all the versions they took where he was able to pull himself up. This is a man who's got Parkinson's disease, served our country in the Army, came home, 30 years of this disease. He's unable to do anything today. But on that one scene, in this one moment in time, my dad pulled himself up. So when you see On Fire, Soul on Fire at the theater, when you see this wedding scene and the dolly action to the left, and you see this good-looking man in the second row, that's my dad.
Yeah.
And that's my hero, man. That's my guy.
That's amazing. That's so cool. John, tell everyone that you surprised me and you said, Chris, we're going to place Hoffman in this film. Can you tell everybody about how that transpired?
Chris has done so much for me. I had to do something for him, and I don't know what that looks like. So the only thing I could do was to put up the sign Hoffman at the stadium. So for the folks who don't know my story, I had a radio announcer who was involved with the St. Louis Cardinals named Jack Buck. Came into my life when I was a kid. He is one of many reasons, but a very important reason why I survived that time in hospital. And the promise he made to me was there would be a John O'Leary day at the ballpark. So that's the promise this 9-year-old hung his hat on while I'm spending 5 months in hospital. Fast forward 5.5 months, little John O'Leary's rolled into the clubhouse. I meet all the Cardinal players. Yes, Ozzie Smith, his son Nico plays Ozzie, and William McGee and Vince Coleman, all the guys. Roll onto the field, and there's a gorgeous shot where my dad, true story, is rolling me around the bases.
Yeah.
And as you come around third base in Busch Stadium 2, that's the one with the arches still, you see Hoffman. He didn't pull it up on the side, man. So we made it big time. So that was cool. And then there's a callback scene at the end of the film, and I'm not going to tell you what happens there. But by far the highlight of the film takes place at Busch Stadium 3. And it's a sacred moment where another conversation is taking place around the base pass. Not going to go much more into detail than that, other than to say, and as you look over John O'Leary's right shoulder, again, Busch Stadium 3 now, you will see Hoffman shining with that beautiful white background and red logo.
That's amazing. So something to keep an eye out for during the film, in addition to following along to this great story that we have a chance to tell.
It is a great story. And why it's great is not me. It's so clear, Hoffman. I mean, you're part of the story. Now your entire family is part of the story. The community was part of the story. And in a story right now that we tell ourselves that our best days are behind us. Read the paper, man. That's what you are reassured every morning. This movie reminds us that heroes still exist. They still move among us, that we can fight for something bigger than ourselves, and that our best is yet to come.
It's amazing. John, thank you for being here with me. Really excited to do this
My
together
friend.
and look forward to seeing the film. So
Thank you,
thank you, everybody. If you can make it, we'd love to see you there.